Hello, all you degenerate old schoolers, and welcome back to another super secret spicy special episode of The Orb. Tonight is top 4 of the Summer Derby. We still know it's summer outside because it's blazing hot. And as you go inside to play some online old school Magic the Gathering, it's even hotter. We have Xanadude, who moved on and beat Rob in the top 8 to face Will McGran. So same deal, I've met both of these dudes at LobsterCon. Both very skilled magicians. That's why they're vying for top 4 here. Or should I say already in the top 4 and trying to make it all the way through. Only 4 old schoolers left. So let's move on and take a look at their decks. And here's a look at Xanadude's deck. I think Xanadude went out in the early 90s and said, give me a wicked sick pack of hockey cards. And someone handed him Magic cards on accident, and he's just been playing with them ever since, which is awesome. He's got a full burn package out there. I call this Diet Disco Troll. He has 4 Sedge Trolls and only 1 disc in the main board. He does carry 2 more as backup in the sideboard if needed. His win conditions are that burn package and those Sedge Trolls, 2 Orders of the Ebon Hand, 1 main board Solkanarth the Swamp King, which is extra special. I hate that big ugly 5/5 bastard that's swamp walking, getting shoved down my throat. That's happened more than once, unfortunately. He is just a handful to deal with. He also has 2 dips in the deck. The good black spells, Demonic Tutor and Mind Twist, and all the other good parts that we play with old school Magic. Mana Drains and Recalls, Chaos Orb, Brain Geyser, the brown mana out there, a handful of Myriad of Dual Lands, 4 Strip Mines because we are playing Boreal. The rest of his sideboard contains 2 counter spells to be a little more controlling, a couple Terrors to take out those creatures that he can't deal with himself with his other answers, 2 City in a Bottles. I can only imagine those get jammed in for the Arabian aggro decks. And then after that, it's a ton of artifact hate. A couple Energy Fluxes, couple Shatters, couple Artifact Blasts, and then a Silex to take care of those pesky Antiquities cards. It's like City in a Bottle, but a couple steps shittier. So a very well-designed deck that we can see and have seen gone off and just beat the living daylights out of people. So I love it. Let's take a look at his opponent. And here's a look at Will's deck. This is Shops. This is an awesome form of Shops. He's got Atogs in there and then a bunch of brown things. Suchis, only 2 Triskelion. The full block of Power 9, 3 Mishra's Workshops, a myriad of dual lands, all the Strip Mines, all the Mishra's Factories. And then at the top right, he has 4 copy artifacts. I love copy artifacts. When I first got back into Magic, that was one of the first things I ordered up. I needed a whole playset. Now that being said, I haven't given them their due. He also has 4 Icy Manipulators, so he doesn't care if he wants to control out this game. I mean, when I look at this deck, I think of...
I love it! Come on, let's go!
So Will's also running a main deck bottle, 1 Relic Barrier. I see the Chaos Orb has the Bowie hat on. Booney hat. Booney. Who knows? Who cares? Will's always rocking one of those hats when I see him in an old school tournament, so that's pretty cool. He only needs 1 Swords to Plowshares. That's it. Just one thing gets in the way, he'll pull out that Swords, get it out of the way. He also has an Armageddon to close out that game. It's a sweet looking altar, along with most of his cards. You know, he gets a big bad creature down and just tries to kick the door shut and shove a 4/4 down your opponent's throat. Sideboard mentions, a couple Red Elemental Blasts, 1 Falling Star, which I love Falling Star, Earthquake, which wipes out those extra wide decks, a couple extra Swords to Plowshares, Armageddon again, Divine Offering, Disenchant, Hercules, a Sage of Latin Ham. Starting eating through his own artifacts. Blue Elemental Blast, looks like another Relic Barrier, and a couple extra lands. Having lands on the sideboard, I don't see it too often, but I love the play. Sometimes you just meet those decks that take all your resources away, and having an extra land that can be key to jam in, especially if he jams in a bunch more white cards. He's going to need access to white mana quicker, so having that plateau out there, quite a good idea. So, I've said enough words. I know everyone's waiting for it. Let's move on to game number 1. And here we go with game number 1. Xanadude's on the play. He did take a mulligan, so he is starting with 6 cards. He plays an Underground Sea and just a quick pass. Will shows up with the Mishra's Factory. I think Xanadude's got a knife on his deck, just in case there's trouble. And look at this, he plays out a Mox and another Underground Sea, turn 2. And here comes the first Strip Mine. Will throws a Strip Mine, gets rid of one of those Underground Seas, plays out a Moxen for himself. Oh, and jams in Mishra's Factory for 2. Xanadude's down to 18. Will's still sitting on 20. Underground Sea number 3 finds play. And just another pass from Xanadude. Looks like a Tundra comes into play. Yeah, Will's activating his factory and Copy Artifacts hitting the board. He's mana ramping with Copy Artifact. Always fun to do. Now he has 2 Mishra's Factories on the board. Oh, Xanadude says, no you don't, get that shit out of here. Mana drain. Xanadude's got a couple floating mana out there. Let's see if that helps him ramp into something. Ooh, Sedge Troll, well played. Leaves his 2 black untapped, and look at this, fires down his own Strip Mine. That pesky Mishra's Factory has been taken care of. And Xanadude's got a good threat on the board. I mean, he's a regenerator, which is a problem for robots. Yeah, Troll comes in for 3. That should drop Will down to 17. Xanadude's still on 18. We can see they each, believe each have 3 cards in hand. They both run through a bunch of resources. I guess Xanadude passes out with 2 in hand. And Will found his 4th mana source and slams down a Su-Chi. Oh, Psyblast to Suchi. Xanadude will go down to 16. And Will should take 4 points of mana burn down to 13. And another 3 to the face with the troll. Down to 10. Oh, look at this. Backup troll into play. What a pain in the ass. Now, the trade-off is Xanadude only has 1 black mana source. Robots typically lacks a lot of direct damage. He's tapping for second Suchi in play. So Suchi's been, I think, demoted to blocker here. But this Xanadude's tapping 2. It's a Chaos Orb. Looks like we have a quick activation. So Xanadude's lining up his shot. Got to be aiming for that Suchi here. Very important flip. Double extra aim. Clean rotation. The judges from the Dutch Netherlands give it an 8.7. One more Suchi down. So Will's going to take 4 more points of mana burn. He should be down to 6. And 2 more trolls in. That is game number 1, folks. Xanadude's up 1-0. We'll swap out some cards and move on to game number 2. And here we go with game number 2. Game number 1 was finished off by Xanadude putting the pedal to the metal with some Sedge Trolls. Game number 2, Xanadude did take a mulligan. Will's on the play, and look at this ramp. Strip Mine to Soul Ring to Fellwar Stone. Plenty of mana, turn number 1. So Xanadude with not quite the same explosive mana artifact base start. He does lead with a Factory and pass. Look, Will's come up with a Chaos Orb. Looks like he's going to be patient and use it. You know, when you throw a Chaos Orb down real early in the game, a lot of times I have that itchy trigger finger to go ahead and fire that thing off. Destroy something, some mana on the other person's board. But not happening. Xanadude fires a Time Walk off, so he's catching back up with turns, drawing an extra card. Will says not so fast though. Activation on the Chaos Orb. So Will's lining up his shot here with Chaos Orb. Word on the street is he used a laser off the beam of his hat. Clean rotation. And a 9.6 from the judges from the Ukraine. Mishra's Factory hitting the bid. Xanadude's taking his Time Walk turn. looks like he comes up with the Badlands, and here we go. Order of the Ebb in hand, 2-1 Pump Knight. Xanadude laughs and says, Will, your one Swords to Plowshare you have in your deck is useless against the Pump Knight. Oh, but Brutality, Mind Twist for 3. Did anyone see that? What a kick to the teeth. And a pass. Xanadude top decks a land and jamming his Pump Knight in for 3 damage. That puts Will down to 17. Xanadude still on 20. That was first blood of game number 2. So Will's up on both mana and cards at this point. Looks like he's tapping for Icy Manipulator. What a great answer. Oh, and an Atog, that artifact-eating bastard. He has 5 brown munchy things to nibble on from Will's side of the board. I mean, he can go snacking anytime he wants. And 5, man, that'll put him up to an 11-12. That's kind of disgusting. Kind of feels like Will's board presence is building up here. I think he's getting excited about how big his Atog can get. I would be too. So Pump Knight pushing in. Looks like for a total of 4. That puts Will down to 13. Oh, copy artifact. This is devastating. Now he has 2 Icy Manipulators down. Look at this. Tapping the Soul Ring and the 2 Icies going to work. Tapping a creature in a Badlands. And Will says, just for good measure, let's fire off this Strip Mine. Yeah. Keeping Xanadude off of red mana for good reason. His deck can get mean quickly with all that burn. Atog sticking in for 1. And another Strip Mine. So Xanadude's down to 19. He only gets to have 1 permanent untapped going into his draw phase. Which is tough. 1 Underground Sea. Will's finding more pressure. Mishra's Factory sticking again with Atog down to 18 for Xanadude. Xanadude still has 1 permanent to play with during his turn. That is just bad stuff. Uh-oh. Again, what you never want to see your opponent do. Count a bunch of shit up. Here we go. Looks like he's coming in for 3. Yeah, Xanadude's down to 15. The clock is real. Will just has so many artifacts. I mean, he's got potentially 7 artifacts. Yeah, here we go. He just bombs everything straight into the Atog's face. Atog goes to the Golden Corral and puts them out of business, eats everything in sight, and just comes tumbling over Xanadude. Wow. Explosive game number 2. We're now tied up 1-1. Xanadude's got 1 win. Will's got 1 win. Let's take a look at game number 3. And here's a look at game number 3, just as a heads up. I believe we are playing 5 matches. This is a best of 5 series. So Xanadude fires out Mishra's Factory. Will says, I like that plan. I'm going to do the same. You looking at them playing out factories first, I don't think they're doing it just so they can attack turn 2 with a factory. I think they hold near and dear to their heart that colored mana sources. They don't want to see them stripped away immediately. Xanadude's on the move here, plays a swamp, and he's going to go find his favorite fucking magic card in his deck with Demonic Tutor. And just like that, he's found it. Will's on the move. He fires down a volcanic island. And a time walk. Time walking's always fun. Picks up a Mox Sapphire. Activates his Mishra's Factory and puts a copy down on the factory. Nice and safe as Xanadude's tapped out. So doing some real mana ramping through that time walk turn. And again, he's got 2 Mishra's Factories down. And Mishra's Factory is such a pain in the ass. Once you start multiplying the amount you can have in the deck, that can be problematic for your opponent. Xanadude finding an Underground Sea and an Ancestral Recall. Nothing Will can do about that. He only has 2 cards in hand and 1 colorless mana untapped with his factory. Yeah, and Xanadude's going to sneak in for 2 here with his factory. First blood of the game. Will's on 18, Xanadude's on 20. Will's double activating and sticking in for 4. Xanadude's down to 16. Yeah, that's not a race that Xanadude's going to win out on. But he does come up with a volcanic island. I think we know what that means. Could represent a lightning bolt. Even a Psy Blast at this point. Just some direct damage to the face for Will. Will showing up with an Icy Manipulator. Xanadude saying, get that shit out of here. Mana Drain. That'll be good for 4 to his mana pool next turn. And on the off chance he can't use it all, he can sink it all into the factory. Look at this. The Sylex is out. 4 mana to play it. 1, tap it, and destroy all the cards from Antiquities. I mean, that and City in a Bottle, what legendary cards are out there just to wipe out a whole expansion set of Magic the Gathering, especially when there were only, what, 5, 6 expansions out? Not even that many. Sets total out. We'll just eviscerate one of them. Xanadude sticking in for 2 here. Now they're both on 16. And yeah, putting that Sylex to work. Copy Artifact in the bin. Both factories in the bin. Tie ball game at 16. And a new factory hits the board. Oh, just a pass for Will. So, I mean, this is game 3. Will's on a Workshops deck. He had 3 Mishra's Workshops. We have yet to see one. Xanadude putting the Mishra's Factory to work. Will's down to 14. And needs to answer the threat of the factory. Xanadude having a City of Brass in play now. Finding all kinds of mana sources. And here we go. Will again. Plays 2 out. Artifact Blast. Get that Icy Manipulator out of here. Look at that beautiful red counterspell. Let's get rid of any brown card you want to throw at me. Oh. Xanadude's going to take one, go to 15. He's going to bolt Will's face. Will's down to 11. Needs to come up with some answers. Xanadude's poking in for another 2 with the Mishra's Factory, putting Will down to 9. And here comes a Sedge Troll. Dangerous thing about it, this Sedge Troll is running naked. There is no black mana sources open to regenerate. Oh, Will's playing on his own Ancestral. Yet again, I've heard that card's good to play with. 1 blue, draw 3 cards. Not too shabby. I mean, Xanadude feels like he's in the driver's seat for game number 3 here. Will's got to come up with some answers pretty quick. Oh, he finds a Strip Mine, taps 3, looks like he's going to do a Mind Twist for 2. Xanadude's got 3 cards in hand, so he will be keeping one of them. Looks like he gets another Sedge Troll, and a Disc. Oh, and a blue Elemental Blast. That Sedge Troll out there running naked just got shot straight to the bin with a blue Elemental Blast. Xanadude's going to sneak in for 2 more. Will's down to 7, but he does have a Strip Mine to take care of that 1 factory threat. Oh, and here comes Atog. And Strip Mine's been used. Factory down. Threat off the board. Xanadude kept a Terror in hand and gets rid of that Atog. He does find a Ruby. That's no help. Will needs to come up with a threat. Yeah, Atog number 2 out on the board. Ready, willing, and able to start eating artifacts at any given time. That being said, it looks like there's only 2 on the other side of the board to eat. And Xanadude placing a Strip Mine directly in the bin and wipes out Will's Volcanic Island. But here comes Atog, in for 1. Xanadude's down to 14. Will's still on 7. Xanadude hits another mana source. Badlands. Atog in for another one. Xanadude down to 13. Three being tapped. Sedge Troll out. Definitely an awesome blocker for Atog. And Will picks up the Swords to Plowshares. I would assume that he brought in some extra of those. Xanadude's now down to 15. He ran up to 16 with the swords. 1 damage puts him down to 15 from Atog. So another strip mine to the red source. Got some late game strip mines coming out here. Atog in for another one. Xanadude's down to 14. Another strip mine's played. I mean, I think at this point you just keep the mana, right? Save it in case you come across Fireball. Ooh, Factory's back to being a thing. I don't think that strip mine's gonna be saved like I once thought. Yep. Strip mine in the bin, factory in the bin. Oh, Will finds his own factory. Tapping 3. Oh, now he's got 2 factories. Another copy artifact hitting the board. This is not looking good for Xanadude. He's going to take care of the copy, the factory, and the Atog here. Not to mention, those are extra artifacts. I mean, Will can crank in for like 9 with Atog. If he so chooses. He's going to eat all the artifacts in the process, including the factories, but it's a lot of damage. And Atog's coming in for another one. Xanadude down to 13. He's tapping things. Tapping 3. Oh, look at this. Well-timed energy flux. Yeah, I think we're going to see Atog go on a lunch buffet. Looks like he's maybe floating 2 mana. Yeah, is he going to pass over to you, just let the Atog eat? I mean, or do you want to keep a mana source around, see what you draw? Always tough decisions. Oh, look at this. In response, Xanadude's throwing down a Psyblast. The damage from that puts him to 11, though. And he's feeding the Atog more. Atog should be something like 7-8 right now. Yeah, I think the energy flux was a little too late. Will's able to stick in for all the damage with that giant Atog. He is now up 2-1. Let's take a look at game number 4. So, in case you've been sleeping, it's time to wake up. Things are getting real exciting. Will's up 2-1 here in this top 4 matchup. Decks are very closely balanced, though. Each just start off with 1 land. Swamp for Xanadude. Tropical Island for Will. More Tropical out of Xanadude. Nothing is happening very quickly here. Game number 4. And a strip mine showing up to play. Yep, alright. They each take a land out of play, throw it in the graveyard. Strip mine's doing its thing. I'm pretty sure they're going to start playing good cards here soon. I like showing off dual lands myself. I like staring at them. The 2 colors in the text box is mesmerizing. But this is starting to look like paint dry. Grass growing. And I'll keep my mouth shut. Atog has hit the board. First threat down. He has no buffet to eat from. And Xanadude plays out a Sedge Troll, followed by a blue Elemental Blast. Get that shit straight to the graveyard. Will's got that Atog in for first blood. Xanadude down to 19. Will's still on 20. Oh, and look at this. He finds the workshop. He powers it straight into an Icy Manipulator. Goes to tap some shit down on Xanadude's side, but Xanadude has an immediate answer, Shatter. At this point, I kind of assume the lightning bolts, maybe chain lightnings, have been swapped out of Xanadude's deck for all that artifact hate he has in the sideboard. I mean, I believe there was a fair amount of cards, something like 6+ cards of artifact hate. Oh, but Will says, look at me. I have another Icy Manipulator. How grand is that? Atog in for another one. Xanadude trickles down to 18 life. Oh, look at this. He's feeding the Atog. I think that puts Xanadude down to like 15. Will's still sitting hard on 20. Tapping 5 and slamming down a Soul Canar the Swamp King. Fuck yes. Oh! Red Elemental Blast, Soul Canar loses out. And I mean, that's the terrifying thing. A red Elemental Blast can destroy that asshole, and so can a blue Elemental Blast. Oh, Armageddon. Not good news. Look at that. Will sticks in for another one. Xanadude down to 14. Oh, but he finds a Mishra's Factory. What a find. That stops Will right in his tracks. Wow. I don't know if you were holding that back or just top decked it, but perfect play. Xanadude find another Moxen. Ooh, look at this. Going to find his favorite magic card that he has left in his deck. And just like that, it's been found. It's a Black Lotus. Throwing that thing to a bin, in the bin, and he's tapping forward to play a discount. The bad news about the disc is, I feel like Xanadude's got more to lose there. Will's sneaking in for 1. Xanadude's down to 13. I believe I still have Will on 20. I could have missed a City of Brass tap or 2. But he's pretty close. Yeah, Xanadude's sticking in for 2. I think that puts Will on 18. Xanadude on 13. Will coming back for 1. Xanadude's down to 12. So Xanadude showing up with more resources here. Factory in for 2. Will's on 16. Will's been struggling for mana resources ever since that Armageddon blew off. Oh, but look at this. Finding the Lotus of his own. Armageddon number 2. Wow, way to take out some threats. I mean, really, if that disc goes off, there's going to be nothing left on the board, and their libraries have to be getting somewhat thin here. Yeah, Xanadude still has, mana resources. Will's coming in for another one. Xanadude down to 11. Make that 10. I mean, the clock is real. Xanadude, I'm sure, doesn't want to pop that disc. But, time's running out. Oh, Xanadude saying, let's get this party started. Blows up the disc. Board has been wiped clean. He floats a mana, play down a Soul Ring, followed by a Volcanic Island. He only has 1 left in hand. We've moved on to the Drago portion of the game. I mean, they are starting from scratch with almost no hand. Game number 4, but Will does have a threat down. It's a Mishra's Factory. Oh, Xanadude throwing down a Chaos Orb and activating it. And Xanadude's making sure everything's double, triple lined up. This is an important flip. Oh, clean rotation, but it bounces and hits off the table. The judges from Sweden give it a 0.4. It's a miss. Will's Factory is safe. Oh, look at this. He finds a second factory, jamming in for 2. Xanadude's down to 8. Oh, but he does come up with a factory of his own. That is an answer. Tapping 4 for a new disc. Will sticks in for another 2. Xanadude's down to 6. I believe Will's still on 16. So the new disc is something. Wow, look at this. Will finding another Mishra's Factory. I don't know if anyone told him he can only have 4 in his deck. They are showing up in spades. Yeah, what do you do here? Do you blow it? Do you use the factory to swap factories? It's a tough one. At 6 life, you surely don't want to take it to the face. Yeah, there's no easy answer here. Looks like they trade. Xanadude activates his own factory. They both pump. It's a one for one trade there. And here comes the factory again. Xanadude tapping 3 for a shatter. Well played. I think he's going to take a point of damage with that, though, and go down to 5. But Will's just sitting there with 1 factory and discards a Triskelion. Yeah, he is light years away from coming up with 6 mana to cast that thing out. Xanadude's popping down a 2/2 Naked Sedge Troll. I mean, he's got to turn sideways for a handful of turns here. Will, I believe, still on 16. And this is why I love Force Strip. I mean, look how many permanents are in play. And we're on turn like 976 of this game. I love it. Uh-oh. Sedge Troll found a swamp to go fester in. Swinging in for 3. Will's down to 13. Discarding another Triskelion. Artifacts go into the bin like crazy. I think Will's down to 10 now. Oh, balance though. Balance is big. That's one way to get rid of that troll. And a land. Trade-off is Will's going to lose a few cards. Looks like Will's throwing in a... I think a Mind Twist and a Copy Artifact. I could be wrong. Xanadude holding steady with that disc. I mean, this is a nail biter of a finish. Ooh, Copy Artifact. Copy Artifact seems key here. You know, I kind of wonder, did he take the disc just to clear the board and send the factory in? He did that, or, you know, picked up another mana source, but really with that disc down, he's going to have to clear the board at some point. One of them's going to, and I'm sure Will doesn't want to lose his factory. Oh, way off. He copied the Soul Ring, and here comes Chaos Orb. That's another way to do it. Yeah, Chaos Orb's getting activated. I mean, now blow the disc, just get it all out of here. Looks like Will's floating a mana. Yeah, activating Factory, coming in for 2. Xanadude's down to 3. He needs to answer this Factory now. He's down to 1. Oh, he comes up with a Badlands. Does he come up with an answer to the Factory? Shatter. Possibly a Bolt. He passes. Will's sticking in again. I think Xanadude had a few more life than I once thought here, but I mean, we are down to the final wire. I know for sure Xanadude's on low single digits, and he's discarding the Silex. That's tough. That would have taken out the Factory. Will finding another Factory. I believe that's the playset for him. Xanadude does have a Bolt for the Factory. That's big. So no Factory damage that turn. Lightning Bolt doing some late game work here. Oh, look at this. What a way to get back in a game. Ancestral Recall. Xanadude gets to rip 3 extra cards into his hand. He's got to discard a few, including a Psyblast. But he should have some options here that he's drawn into. Will showing up with a late game strip mine here. And he's jamming the Factory in. Oh, look at this. Another Lightning Bolt. That Lightning Bolt was an absolute lifesaver. I mean, we are so late into this game. And he's finally throwing some bolts around, taking down creatures. Oh, look at this. Xanadude now has 2 strip mines out. And he's taken Will off colored mana sources, taking down the Underground Sea. Will's firing back, taking up the strip mine of Xanadude, and he's got a Loa. Wow. That must have come in from the sideboard. I mean, these two have to be getting somewhat low on cards in their library. They've been at it so long. Xanadude's Time Walking. That's a pretty good card. Tapping 3, dropping down another Naked Sedgetroll. Though there's 2 Badlands out there that count as swamps, nothing can come through and save his ass in case 3 damage is dealt to him. Oh, didn't matter though. Swords to Plowshares. Xanadude gaining a few life. I know he's still in single digits though. He is way down there. And Will's doing work with his Loa. Tapping that thing, drawing an extra card. Look at this, finding another plateau. Atog's down. Uh-oh, lost the camera there for a second. And Xanadude's back. Oh, Xanadude has a mana drain for that Atog. That's a solid play. He does get 2 mana that he needs to deal with, but he is on the count. Counting up his land, tapping another 3. Ooh, Fireball. Looks like a Fireball for 4. That should put Will down to something like 6. I think they're both in these kind of low single digits. I mean, what a battle back and forth. Will coming up with a Mox Jet. And a Strip Mine. Loa doing more heavy lifting late in this game. New Atog out, plus he has some food. That one Mox Jet, so yeah. This is turning into a real problem for Xanadude. He's got to be able to answer all those extra cards from that Loa. And now that they've built back up their resources, this is probably going to be a problem. Now, Will's taken Xanadude off his untapped mana source. Volcanic Island in the bin. Ooh, Terror. Yeah, way to paint Atog into a corner. Let's see if he goes walking back to the graveyard. I mean, we're so deep into this game. I don't know, these guys might be running out of threats. That active Loa, though, I mean, it is chewing through Will's library. So Xanadude can keep coming up with answers. The game will go on. Oh, Disenchant, though, down to the Sapphire. They're still just destroying each other's resources. And I think Will yelled, "To hell with being out of answers," and chucks a Suchi straight to the bin. He has so many answers, he doesn't even need them all. There we go. New Suchi hitting the board. Does Xanadude have an answer? No Artifact Blast. Throws down a City of Brass. That doesn't help a whole lot. And I think that's going to be it. Suchi in for the win. Last few damage to clear out this game. Congratulations to Will. Takes the series 3-1. Good run, Xanadude. Will's headed on to play for all the marbles for Summer Derby. As always, thanks for watching The Orb.